Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum semua and a very good day to all of you. This video will discuss about chapter number 1, which is on introduction to the management itself. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, before we start the discussion on this chapter, let us see the chapter outline. Altogether, there are 5 subtopics that we need to cover, which are number 1, the concept of management. Okay, number 2, the management functions. Number 3, managerial performances. Number 4, level and skills of managers. And number 5, Mintzberg managerial roles. Okay, so when you are taking the subject itself, jangan rasa macam why should I learn about management? I might not be a manager, or I might be a manager in the future. I don't care, alright? Jangan rasa macam tu, because I believe in the future itself, whether you will directly or indirectly, you will involve ataupun you akan jumpa all these management functions, whether you are working with a company or you have your own business. Alright, kalau you rasa nak ada business ni hari, penting sangat apa subjek kita yang kita akan belajar untuk management ni. Alright, so kalau jadi workers biasa pun, nowadays you must be able to manage your job properly lah. So bila you are required to manage your job properly, it indirectly akan involve the management process itself ataupun function. Okay, so enough about that. That is some of the introduction that I can give you lah, whether you like it or not. Later on, when you are working, you in your future itself, you akan involve in management. Okay, as the normal staff ataupun manager pun, tambah-tambah lagi manager memang akan involve dengan management. So what is management? Okay, kita tengok definition of management dulu. So management is the process of administering, coordinating resources efficiently and effectively, and to achieve organizational goals. Okay, so definition ni ada beberapa keyword yang penting lah, yang highlight semua ni kira macam keyword lah kan. Okay, the process of administering and coordinating resources. So bila kita cakap tentang resources in organisation, resources ada dalam beberapa bentuk lah, sama ada human resource, okay, the people or the staff that work with us, or the company or the organisation itself, diorang punya skill, education background, experiences, tu kita panggil sebagai resources. Selain daripada financial resources, all those assets and machinery, macam-macam resources lah yang kita kena ada untuk run the business itself. Okay, another keyword adalah effectively and efficiently. Okay, later on kita akan discuss on effectiveness and efficiency. And the third keyword adalah to achieve the goal of the organisation. Okay, sekali kita tengok definition organisation ni apa. Okay, organisation boleh jadi dalam beberapa bentuk lah. Alright, goals in the organisation depends on the type of the organisation itself. If it's a company who run business, mungkin dia nak ada profit, okay, increasing their profit, increasing their market share, they want to invent ataupun launch new products, tu mungkin boleh jadi goal of the company. Whatever it is, dia orang nak buat untuk capai all those organizational goal being set earlier. Okay, so what is management? Management, again, I repeat, the process of administering and coordinating resources efficiently, effectively, and to achieve the goals of the organization. Okay, clear? So we proceed dengan organisation tu apa? Tadi dalam definition kita ada the word organisation. Okay, so management usually akan wujud dalam organisation. So what is organisation? It is a group of individuals, meaning individuals working together. So a group of individuals, they are made of people, which two or more people who work together in achieving a common set of goal lah. Okay, sama ada a company, persatuan pun boleh jadi organisation juga, governmental bodies pun boleh jadi organisation, non-profit organisation pun boleh jadi organisation, a university can be an organisation, macam-macam kan boleh jadi organisation as long as a group of people that work together lah. Alright, two or more people who work together. Alright, so under organisation akan ada management structure. Okay, dalam organisation ramai-ramai ni kan, okay, kena ada structure dia. Okay, in this management structure, what will happen is that they will need to identify the role and responsibility of job to ensure that every worker knows their job description and responsibility, and they know whom they have to report to and refer. Senang cerita ni kita panggil sebagai organisation chart. Lebih kurang macam itulah bentuk struktur dia. Sebab apa? Sebab dalam organisation chart kita boleh nampak directly reporting line tu kepada siapa. Okay, dan pecahan department tu macam mana? Ada department, ada berapa department? Department tu based on apa? Function ke? Contoh kalau department based on function, kita ada contoh macam finance department, kita ada apa lagi? Human resource department, kita ada sales department, contoh dia. Alright, so mengikut this management structure, each one of the workers akan tahulah apa roles yang dia pegang, apa tanggungjawab yang dia kena buat lah of the job itself. Alright, dan kita dapat tahu kita akan report kepada siapa bos kita. Tu yang dimaksudkan dengan whom they have to report to and refers. Okay, kalau ada masalah nak refer kepada siapa. Okay, clear on management structure. Dan tadi ada organisation goal. Okay, organisation goal ni apa? So organisation goal, they have goal to achieve. They are interacting with each other to achieve a common goals or set of goal. Okay, so contoh goal tadi macam Madam bagi apa? Increase in sale, okay, increase in market share, increase in the market, nak pasarkan barang produk company tu kepada mana. Alright, it may differs to those macam governmental bodies like the police department itself, mungkin dia nak ada goal macam lower crime rates. Tu contoh organizational goals lah. Okay, so example of organization ni kita boleh tengok like hospitals, UiTM, school, companies. Okay, tu contoh organization. Alright, clear on the discussion about organization and management? So kita proceed dengan how to measure the managerial performance. Okay, macam mana nak measure managerial performance? Ada dua keyword ataupun ada dua aspek yang akan di measures. Okay, kita nak nilai managerial performance tu macam mana. Okay, so satu, kita the company may look at the performance efficiency. Okay, efficiency and effectiveness. So lebih kurang je perkataan dia efficiency, effectiveness. Tak lebih kurang lah. Beza kan, dengar bunyi pun lain. Okay, performance efficiency ni apa? It is the ability to do things right. Maksudnya kalau ada satu-satu proses tu, ada satu-satu cara kerja tu, dia boleh buat dengan betul tak? Okay, tak ada mistake. Tu kalau tak ada mistake tu bermaksud ada efficiency dekat situ. Okay, so kita tengok contoh ni. An efficient manager is a manager who can achieve output or the result as expected. Okay, maksudnya dia cakap lah buat kerja, tak ada mistake. Bila tak ada mistake macam tu, boleh achieve output ataupun result yang the company nak ataupun the company dah set. Let me tell you, kalau you bekerja dengan company, expectation daripada awak tu dah bagi tahu siap-siap dah. Okay, here is your tanggungjawab, here is the result yang kita nak. Tambah-tambah lagi kalau kerja tu involve in tambah-tambah lagi kalau kerja tu involve sama ada directly ataupun indirectly in sales lah. Contoh kita ambil branch manager bank. Okay, so output dengan result memang ada. Tiap-tiap produk yang dijual oleh bank tu, being offered by the bank itself, ada dia punya target. Alright, so performance efficiency meaning the manager tu boleh achieve lah the output and result, tak ada mistake being done. Okay, managers who are able to utilize and minimize the cost of resources such as staff, finance, equipment and raw material. So bila tak ada mistake ni, maksudnya resources tu you boleh minimize lah. Okay, minimize. Right, so kalau ada mistake kadang-kadang you have to redo. It can involve in a longer time to do certain kind of work, equipment, raw material, ada pembaziran, contoh macam tu. So performance efficiency is the ability to do the things right. Okay, next kita tengok the second way to measure the managerial performance, which is performance efficiency. So performance efficiency ni apa? It is the ability to choose the right goal. Okay, so if the demand in the market for cars is from small, compact and economical car, but the manager chooses to produce and manufacture big luxury and expensive car, the manager is considered to be ineffective. So when the manager fail to choose the right ataupun the appropriate goal, meaning dia orang tak effective lah. Sebab apa? Because when they choose the wrong ataupun the inappropriate goals, macam ni kan, market customer demand for kereta yang lebih jimat. Contoh, tiba-tiba you produce car yang mahal, yang not so cost effective dari segi fuel consumption ke apa ke kan, nanti tak ada sales rendah. Sebab apa? Sebab kita tak meet the demand itself. So performance effectiveness ni apa? It is the ability to choose the right goal. Alright, the ability to choose the right goal. So okay, so next kita nak tengok the 4 functions of management. Okay, this is the management function. Ada 4 semua. POLC. Dia punya keyword kalau awak jenis ingat huruf depan POLC. So apa tu POLC? Ada 4 function of management. Satu adalah planning. Okay, planning includes defining goals. Okay, tetapkan goal dulu, establish the strategy and develop plans to coordinate the activity. Plan lah apa nak capai, nak buat macam mana, establish strategy, nak buat macam mana, dia rangkakan lagi, and how to coordinate the activities to achieve the goal being set. So ni adalah planning. Okay, then kita ada organizing. Organizing is to determine what tasks to be done, whom is to do them, and how the tasks are to be grouped, who report to whom, and where decision are to be made. Ni nak organize lah, siapa nak buat kerja apa function department, siapa report kepada siapa, siapa jadi manager apa. Tu adalah organizing. Okay, then kita ada leading. Okay, dalam management kena ada leading. So leading ni includes motivating, to motivate the subordinates, directing others, selecting the most effective communication channels, and resolving conflict. Ni among the leading punya function lah, motivating, directing, macam mana nak communicate kepada staff, alright. And bila ada conflict, ada masalah, these leaders kena try to solve it. Alright, dan the 4th management function is controlling. So controlling ni apa? Controlling is the activity of monitoring to ensure that they are being accomplished as planned and correcting any significant deviation. Okay, contoh kerja branch manager tadi. Okay, so contoh untuk controlling macam mana, tiap-tiap bulan akan ada report, berapa produk yang dah jual, berapa loan dah jual kepada customer, berapa deposit, berapa ringgit deposit yang diorang dapat cari untuk that month. Tu aktiviti untuk controlling. So correcting ni contoh, correcting meaning tiba-tiba satu produk credit card tak boleh nak jual, tak ada sales number ataupun sales figure sangat. So di sini ada deviation sedikit on the result. So need to do some rectification lah, macam mana to ensure that those figures untuk credit card boleh dicapai. Itu kita panggil sebagai controlling activities. Okay, so for function of management ada 4 POLC. Planning, organizing, leading and controlling. Okay, clear? Madam proceed So, as the introduction again, dalam the first topic ni, kita tengok managerial level. So, dalam organisation, macam mana kita nak distinguish. So, bila kita panggil sebagai managerial level ni, kita nak tengok berapa type of manager ada. Okay, berapa type of manager ada. So, the first level, kalau daripada atas ni, kita panggil sebagai top level management. Okay, top level management ni like the CEO, managing director, contoh yang macam tu. Alright, CEO, general manager, tu adalah top level management. Untuk middle level management, selalunya contohnya macam departmental head, manager department, manager of finance department, manager of human resource department, tu kita panggil sebagai middle level management. And lower level management adalah those manager yang supervise workers, yang directly supervise workers. Contoh kita ada supervisor lah, supervisor ataupun unit head. Yang akan supervise ordinary staff lah, executive biasa ataupun staff-staff yang lain. Okay, kita panggil sebagai lower level management. So ingat, this pyramid kena tahulah hak mana yang mana contoh apa. Alright. Okay, ada soalan boleh tanya madam on this. Next kita nak tengok untuk jadi manager, what are the skills required? Skill apa yang kena ada? Okay, ada 3 jenis skill. Satu adalah technical skills, number 2 human skills, number 4 pula. Ada 3 je, tiba-tiba ada 4. Number 3 adalah conceptual skill. Okay, technical skill ni apa? Kita tengok yang pertama. Technical skill is the ability to use the procedures, techniques and knowledge on a specialized field. Contoh, kalau nak jadi manager for finance department, most probably you kena ada knowledge on finance lah. Ataupun kalau you nak pegang jawatan for manager of human resource department, kena ada knowledge on human resource management. You tahu the procedures, okay, ada knowledge on the field itself, so that you ada those technical skills to manage. Nanti tak ada lah staff kelentong pun awak tak tahu apa benda. Alright, so this is technical skills. Dan technical skills selalunya, the first level manager ni mungkin perlukan lebih, you kena tahulah, know how to, ada higher level of technical skill. Dan kita ada human skills. Okay, human skills ni apa? It is a skills that give manager the ability to work effectively with other people. It includes the ability to motivate, understand, lead and communicate, which a manager needs throughout his work. Okay, so manager kena ada ability to work efficiently dengan orang lain lah. Macam mana nak communicate with other people, motivate them. Sebab staff ni kadang-kadang ada masalah disiplin ke ataupun dia punya work output tu mungkin quite rendah. So macam mana nak motivate? Alright, dan selain daripada aktiviti lain yang macam Madam dah sebut dekat sini. Okay, and the third one adalah conceptual skill. Okay, conceptual skill ni apa? It is the they are mental capabilities, okay, kebolehan, akal mental that help the manager see the whole enterprise as well as the relationship that exists among various various parts in the organisation. So conceptual skill ni dia boleh tengok ataupun dia boleh analyse semua aspek, okay, semua aspek yang dalam organisation tu lah. Dia boleh analyse each department, masalah yang dihadapi, internally macam mana, externally ada threat, opportunity kat luar ke, and dia boleh analyse semua benda tu and come up with the strategy dan sebagainya. Ni adalah skill yang lebih penting kalau berada dekat atas top level management, mungkin perlukan a higher level of conceptual skills sebab it will involve monitoring all those environment internally ataupun externally like the economy, the government policy changes in the market semua, dan diorang kena came up with the plan macam mana nak capture the opportunity ataupun macam mana nak deal with the threats. Okay, dan with skills of managers, sekarang kita nak proceed dengan manager ni buat apa sebenarnya. Okay, so mengikut Miss Burks, okay, cari Miss Burks ni siapa. Okay, manager ni ada several roles. Okay, dan di bawah ada 3 main type. Okay, ada 3 main type, dan di bawah 3 main type ni ada anak-anak dia lagi. Alright. Okay. So di bawah 3 ni ada pecahan dia lagi. So mengikut Miss Burke, managerial roles ada 3. Satu, interpersonal role. Interpersonal role ni apa? It helps manager in managing the organisation smoothly lah. Interpersonal, managing other people. Okay. Di bawah interpersonal role ni ada buat macam tu kita discuss interpersonal role tu apa, kita tengok anak-anak dia. Okay. So di bawah interpersonal role kita ada as a figurehead. Okay, it represent the organizations in managerial capacity as head of unit. Dia jadi ketua lah, figurehead, head of unit, head of department. Dan sebagai leader, alright, leader is a person who is responsible for hiring, training, motivating subordinate. Subordinate ni siapa pula madam? Ni anak buah lah, bahasa mudah kita panggil anak buah. Okay, ataupun dia punya staff. Okay, you as a manager, staff awak dekat bawah tu. Tu adalah subordinate. Okay, a person who is responsible for hiring. Kalau tak cukup staff, dia yang kena cari staff baru. Tu kita panggil sebagai hiring, bagi training, bagi motivation towards the subordinate in the organisation. So bila dia buat function ni, kita panggil dia sebagai leaders. Okay, the interpersonal role. Leaders. Okay, dan kita ada liaison, lebih kurang macam tu lah sebut dia sebab Maidan rasa ni French word. Okay. Liaison ni apa? It is a person who performs and interact with other people outside the organisation. Kadang-kadang perlukan interaction dengan outside parties such as suppliers, customer, competitor. Siapa yang akan interact? Mungkin leaders lah ataupun manager. Kena discuss dengan supplier berapa banyak yang nak unit that you nak tempah dengan diorang, the pricing. Ni the discussion will be done by the manager under the liaison rules. And customer, kadang-kadang competitor pun ada juga, governmental bodies dan sebagainya. Okay, next kita tengok informational role. Informational roles, okay, assist managers in receiving and communicating the information to make the right decision. Ni berkaitan dengan maklumat lah. Macam mana you nak dapatkan maklumat, macam mana nak sebarkan maklumat, dan berdasarkan maklumat yang you dapat tu, macam mana you nak make the right decision. So that is what we call as informational role. Okay, kita pergi ke informational role. Ada 3 di bawah informational role. So tadi nak receive information kan? Untuk receiving the information, kita panggil dia sebagai monitor. Informational roles, which is monitor, whereby a manager need to seek and receive information from internal and external environment. Internally mungkin daripada staff, daripada department lain. Okay, external mungkin dia kena tengok ekonomi, economic condition, kena tengok technological changes, kena monitor competitor. Okay, so seeking and receiving information from internal and external environment kita panggil sebagai monitor rules di bawah informational. Dan disseminator ni nak sebarkan maklumat lah macam mana. As a disseminator, after filtering the information, managers will transmit ataupun sebarkan information received to the employees. Okay, when disseminating the information, kita panggil dia sebagai disseminator. Nak macam mana nak sampaikan maklumat? Tak kisahlah email ke, panggil meeting ke, Zoom ke, Google Meet ke, lah ni WhatsApp group pun boleh juga. Okay, dan di bawah informational role yang ketiga adalah sebagai spokesperson. So manager as spokesperson will transmit information to outsider. Ni sebagai jurucakap lah ataupun wakil rasmi that organisation. So informational ada 3, monitor, disseminator and spokesperson. Next kita nak tengok manager role yang ketiga, that is decisional role. Okay, decisional role helps ataupun assist managers in making decisions that solve problem or analyze and take advantage of the opportunity. Nak buat keputusan lah macam mana nak solve problem, nak analyze, nak take opportunity of the advantage of the opportunity, nak deal with threats, macam-macam lagi lah. Pendek kata nak buat keputusan. So di bawah decisional rule ada 4 as an entrepreneur. Okay, think and act as entrepreneur, nak buat keputusan produk mana nak jual, macam mana, apa semua tu di bawah entrepreneur. Dan second rule, resource allocator, nak allocate resources yang macam Madam kata tadi kan. Okay, after filtering the information, managers will transmit information received to the employee itself. Number 3, bukanlah ni resource allocator tu macam nak allocate resources lah, like human resource, berapa orang nak duduk dekat bawah department apa, alright, macam-macam lagi lah. Finance punya orang panggil apa tu, decision making pun kena buat keputusan juga. Okay, number 3, disturbance handler. Okay, responsible for corrective actions when organisation faces important unexpected disturbance. Okay, ni kalau ada unexpected event lah, tiba-tiba lah ni kan viral pasal produk awak, jenuh kan, jenuh, so you kena handle. So that is disturbance handler. Dan kita ada as negotiator di bawah decisional role. They are responsible for representing the organisation at major negotiation dengan customer ke, dengan supplier ke, boleh juga as negotiator. Alright. Okay, so that's all for chapter number 1. Simple je kan chapter number 1 ni, dibagi introduction saja. Later on kita akan tengok lagi sebab each 4 function tu kita akan tengok dia akan jadi satu chapter, tiap-tiap satu tu lah. Alright, so kita dah tengok apa? Kita dah tengok concept of management, management function, managerial performance, level and skills of manager, and number 5, Mixbook, managerial roles. Tadi Madam suruh cari Mixbook ni siapa? Nanti story-story Madam, okay? Alright, so that's all for chapter number 1. See you insyaAllah in next lecture. Assalamualaikum.